Nebraska got it done on Saturday to improve their record to 5-1 in a game defined by highs and lows. So today's video, I've rewatched the film, I've looked over the statistics, and I've come up with my studs and duds from Nebraska week 6. So buckle up. This one is a good one. So really quick, we have a lot to talk about in today's video. Make sure to hit that like button. If you're excited about Nebraska being one game away from bowl eligibility, I know I am. And hey, if you're new to the channel or a returning viewer, make sure to subscribe. I post daily Nebraska football content, and I am not slowing down anytime soon. So if you're a diehard fan, make sure to subscribe. You will not regret it. But without further ado, let's get into it, going over my studs and duds from week 6, my risers and fallers. So let's start things off with a riser for Nebraska, guy who was phenomenal this Saturday. Ceyair Wright needs to get a lot of love from the fan base. According to Pro Football Focus, he was the second highest graded cornerback in all of America. I'll show you his stats. He was targeted 9 times. In those 9 targets, he only gave up 1 catch. He had an INT, he had 2 PBUs, and he allowed a 0.0 passer rating. Ceyair Wright is elite. And we knew how talented he was coming out of USC. He has all the traits. I told you guys in the summer that he is an NFL potential. It's just about figuring out the stuff off the field. Clearly, he's figured it out. This dude is dynamic, and Tommy Hill's going to be back for that Indiana game. I want Tommy Hill and Ceyair Wright to be your 2 starting corners. That should not even be disputable. They need to start. Ceyair Wright cannot go back to the bench. This guy is balling out, and he was a big reason why Nebraska's defense played as well as they did. So everybody needs to give Ceyair Wright a lot of love, because this guy needs to be a black shirt, period. Right now, let's give him that black uniform, because he has been playing very good. Not only versus Rutgers, but he played well versus Purdue. He played well versus Illinois. So this guy is constantly playing at a very high level, and I've been very impressed with him. Let's go to a faller for Nebraska. Isaac Gifford had another tough week. Now, a little bit better from his past couple performances. He was not good versus Illinois. He really didn't play well versus Purdue either. And what I've talked about when it comes to Isaac Gifford in the past, it's mostly his tackling. That's a huge issue for him. He missed a bunch of tackles in those 2 games. Now, it was a little bit better versus Rutgers, but I was rewatching the film. The second drive for the Scarlet Knights, in a matter of 3 plays, Isaac Gifford missed 2 crucial tackles. Again, his Pro Football Focus tackling grade was really, really bad once again. His run grade was really, really bad. So, Isaac Gifford, man, he just got to clean this stuff up, because we know how talented he is. We know how much of a leader he is in the locker room. He's just got to clean up this stuff off the field, or on the field, because honestly, he is supposed to be a really good tackler. Last year, he graded out as Nebraska's best tackler, period. So he's went from being one of the best to one of the worst on the team. We can't have that happen. He needs to step it up, because, again, he was talking a lot over the offseason. You saw those Chasing 3 videos. He was telling the younger kids that he wasn't going to lose this year, that he doesn't want Nebraska to lose. Well, Isaac, I get that sentiment, but you're not doing your job, my man. But he's talented enough. I think he's going to turn things around. And, again, he played better per se versus Rutgers than what he's played the last couple weeks, but it still really wasn't up to the level we know he can play. So he is my first faller. Let's go back to the riser category. This shouldn't be a surprise. We've been talking about him the last couple of days. James Williams, we need to buy stock this year. Rutgers, in those 27 snaps, he had 8 pressures. That is unbelievable. That's an unbelievable stat line. Again, 2 sacks, couple hurries. This guy was in the backfield time and time again. One of the best pass rushers, not only on the team for Nebraska, but in the country. As of right now, I think let's pull up his stats. As of right now, he has 4 sacks on the season, 10 tackles. So again, really, really good pass rusher. I expect him to get more involved as the season progresses. But a guy with a great story, great off the field. And I'm happy he's having success. That's a no-brainer. He was also graded the #1 edge rusher in the country, according to Pro Football Focus from last week. Let's go to a faller, a dud for Nebraska. This isn't a player. This is Marcus Satterfield. So Marcus Satterfield, I'm going to call it like it is. I thought he's been a little bit better this season compared to what he was last year. Of course, a lot of people were calling for his head at the end of 2023. He's been improved, but there's still a lot of issues that we saw last year even as well. So the main thing with Marcus Satterfield that I really frustrated with, he's inconsistent. Okay, the offense will be rolling in the first half when the drives are scripted, Raiola's arm is getting going. But when the offense just finds a little bit of adversity, they can't get through it. Like, we'll be running the football down an opponent's throat. They make a quick transition, they make a stop, and we have nothing going. We can't run the football, we can't pass the football. I don't love Marcus Satterfield's pass concepts. I don't think there's enough guys who get open downfield. There's just a lot of issues when it comes to Marcus Satterfield and his play calling, and I don't think he utilizes the talent we have on the team. This is one thing that I'm very, very mad about when it comes to Marcus Satterfield. The best offensive coordinators, they transition and change their offense to fit their quarterback. Okay, they will mold an offense around what a quarterback does well instead of making the quarterback change his game to fit an offense. Okay, look at Alabama under Nick Saban. They changed their offense all the time. He used to have a pro-style offense. By the end of his career with the Crimson Tide, he had a West Coast offense. The reason why he did that was because every single offensive coordinator he brought in would change their offense to fit the quarterback. Marcus Satterfield has really not changed his offense too much. Okay, besides, not having as many options as we did last year, of course, with Hoiberg. So I don't love the pro-style offense just because you have a very, very talented quarterback under center. I get, it works at times, but a lot of times, again, it's not working and you're not running the football with success either. So Marcus Satterfield, really, really poor game. There's no way to sugarcoat it. We had put up 14 points. And we had a million opportunities to put up, 35, 42. We put up 14 points. Not good enough. Not good enough to win you a bunch of ball games. Last thing I'll say about Marcus Satterfield. Somebody said this in my live chat after the game, and I thought it was a good point. Marcus Satterfield's a good enough offensive coordinator to make a bowl game, to win you maybe 6, 7, 8 games. But Marcus Satterfield will never be good enough for Nebraska to win a Big Ten title. He'll never be a good enough coordinator to win a national championship. Just something I want you to think about. All right, let's get back to the riser category. Brian Buschini, man. This guy is incredible, and I'm just happy to see him playing at an elite level once again. In 2022, he was phenomenal, of course, transferring in from Montana. Then in 2023, really, really bad. Had an off year. He was one of the worst punters in the country, and luckily in 2024, he got back to where he was a couple years ago, and he's been balling out. And honestly, he's bailing out Ed Foley. There's a reason why Ed Foley hasn't, been fired yet. It's probably because Brian Buschini is playing as well as he is. But had a couple really good punts versus Rutgers. Of course, had that fake punt that was an absolute dime to Jalen Lloyd. And we should also note he was injured. Okay, the punt block got to him at some point in that Rutgers game. He got on the ground. He was banged up. His lower back got injured, and yet he was still out there holding the football on those kicks, of course, punting it all the way down inside the 10. So this guy's a stud. He gets a game ball. He gets an MVP, like I said yesterday. Fowler. We're going back to the Fowler category. This entire offensive line really, really struggled once again for Nebraska. In the first half, I thought they were pretty all right. The second half, things started to collapse. We gave up 4 sacks on the day, 7 TFLs. They couldn't open any running lanes. Again, this offense was anemic in that second half. Nothing worked. We couldn't even get a first down. That was the most annoying part. In the fourth quarter, I knew we weren't going to score points. That's just the way the game was going. I just wanted to run the clock. And we couldn't even do that because it was 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. That falls on Marcus Satterfield, but that also falls on this offensive line. They didn't do anybody any favors. You know what's interesting? I was looking over the Pro Football Focus grades of our offensive linemen. You know who's graded the best? Micah Mazuka. Again, is there any shocker there? He had 6 snaps on the day. They basically put him in on I-form snaps when we were running it down the middle, and again, he was balling out. Just interesting that what Matt Rhule considers a backup lineman consistently grades as our best offensive lineman. I'll just put that out there for you guys to speculate. All right, let's go back to the stud category. One last one, of course, we're going to end on a positive. This entire defense played great versus Rutgers. Deshaun Singleton had a couple crucial stops. He didn't get enough love from the Nebraska fan base. Vincent Shavers played very well in his best game of the season. That guy's going to be a stud. He's wearing number 1 now. Him and Jamari traded it out. Then Nash and Ty Robinson, of course, had a really good day. I thought it was Nash's best performance of the season. Riley Van Poppel played in his first game. Of course, they're going to redshirt him, but it was a very crucial game. Matt Rhule wanted to get him going, and he really made his impact. I want to see Riley Van Poppel play versus Indiana and Ohio State. And then I thought Marcus Buford played really well, besides one drive where he gave up that big completion and big holding penalty, but he was just gassed. The only reason he struggled in that drive is because he was gassed. The defense was on the field way too much because the offense wasn't doing many favors. So in general, everybody on defense played well. I thought, Gifford struggled at times, but he was better than what he had been. Same thing with Hartzog. Hartzog kind of struggled, but again, he was better than the Purdue game and the Illinois game. So in general, this defense feasted. They're one of the best in the country. You feel good about that, they get my last stud of the video. All right, guys, let me know down below, who are your studs and duds from Nebraska week 6? It feels good to be 5-1. Feels good to be trending in a positive direction going into the bye. But let me know that down below in the comment section. Hey, if you guys made this far in the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And as always, folks, go Big Red, go Matt Rhule. See you in the next one.